And we're live.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode number 76 of the TikiTakaPod. Today's going to be an interesting episode. I'm your host, Peter. I'm going to be joined by Steph, who will be taking over my duties real quick.
Hello, everybody. How's everybody today? Today's going to be a great show. We have a Benfica panel and a Porto panel. Go ahead, Peter.
I'll let you talk about everybody. I just want everyone to know that we're also going to be on Wednesday. So don't forget to check out, the podcast in 2 days. So that's basically it. Steph, I'm going to let you take reins on this now.
Okay, sounds good. So, like I said, today is going to be an awesome show, great show. We have the Benfiquistas panel, which today we have Peter. He just spoke a little while ago. We have Mariana. How you doing, Mariana?
Hello.
We have Cynthia. How you doing, Cynthia?
I'm good, sweetheart. How are you?
Good, good. And we have Carrie. How you doing, Carrie?
Hi, good.
Okay, now let me introduce the Tripeiro panel. We have Kevin. How you doing, Kevin?
What's up, everybody? Peter, come on.
And we have Bruno. How you doing, Bruno?
Eu sei o que se passou. Eu nem preciso perguntar.
we'll talk about all that. So briefly, I'll talk about my sporting. Since the main focus today is the Classico Porto Benfica, which happened on last Friday. And what a great game as an outsider. I love the game. A lot of missed calls, a lot of controversy, and we'll talk about all that. But my Sporting won at home against Belenenses, minute 13 with a penalty kick by Bas Dost. And basically now we're in first place with Football Club Porto. They are in first place because they have more goals scored, and also they tied in Lisbon against Sporting. So now we both have 34 points. And in third place, it's Benfica with 30 points. So we have three teams in the Liga NOS title race, which is good. As a fan, I love it. So I'm going to start with Bruno first because Porto played at home. Kevin, why don't you give me the lineup for Porto?
Sure. Okay, so and that was José Sá, defense Ricardo Pereira, Marcano, Felipe, and Alex Telles. Midfield Sergio Oliveira, Danilo Pereira, Hector Herrera, Maraga, Abubakar, and Brahimi.
Okay. Now, briefly tell me what you thought about the game.
What I thought about the game, as a whole, I think it was highway robbery. There were some bad calls that did go both ways, but more so for Porto. So, I'm not content with the draw because there's no reason why Porto shouldn't have walked away with 3 points. If anything, Porto gifted a point to Benfica. A lot of missed chances, that goes into effect too. But but I mean, did we lose because of the officiating? No, not really. Unless you want to talk about that penalty call. But it's not, a penalty is not always a guaranteed goal. You can miss, or the goalie can save it. So, we had our chances and we couldn't capitalize. But I think that the refereeing was atrocious.
Okay. So now I'm going to flip to the Benfica panel. And Mariana, why don't you give me the lineup?
Right, so our starting 11, we had Vadela in goal, Almeida, Luizão, Jardel, and Grimaldo. Midfield, Feja, Pizzi, and Korvinovic. Jonas, Salvio, and Servi.
Okay. And now tell me how you felt about the game.
Like Kevin said, it's bad calls both ways. First half, or at least 35 minutes by Benfica. Porto mainly dominated the second half. I think we, as Benfica, did a lot better than people thought we would at the end of September. Everyone thought we were going to get trashed. Didn't happen. Pretty happy with the draw. Would have liked to win, but...
Okay, that's a good assessment.
I'll take it.
Okay, let me go back to the Tripeiros panel. Bruno, now put in your 2 cents. Go ahead, Bruno.
Well, about this game was very simple. Benfica started with the first 20 minutes controlling the game. I thought Sergio Conceição actually reversed his tactic. Usually he starts with high pressure. This time he sat back and he wanted to see what Benfica would do. He wanted to keep some fresh legs. And then in the second half, they just came in and they took it to Benfica. Benfica really didn't exist in the second half. They had one chance to score, and that was because of a Porto blunder. It wasn't really because it was earned. It was more because of they capitalized. But we all know the story of the game was without question the officiating. There was a penalty not called. There would have been a second yellow. Benfica would have played 45 minutes down a man. And I disagree with Kevin. The referee did have influence in the final result because he disallowed a clean goal. It's a clean goal. You can't deny it. You can manipulate as many images as you want. It's not going to work. It's without question a clean goal. 3 points were taken away. We see why Benfica now has 0 points in Champions League because with regular officiating, you would have lost the game.
Steph,
I thought we're talking about Classico, not Champions League.
It doesn't matter. We have new when you have a neutral referee. This is what happens.
Me.
Okay,
Zero points.
so Peter, go ahead, Peter. I know you're itching to talk. Go ahead.
I am. Porto complaining about refereeing is laughable. Completely laughable. 13 minutes in, Flip should have been sent off.
For what?
He kicked Jonas in the least a yellow, not even a yellow.
It's a yellow card.
I've seen worse movies now.
He kicked him.
Peter, let me tell you something.
Brun.
Go ahead. Finish.
Let me
finish.
Let me talk. It was a kick. The ball wasn't there. He kicked him. It could have been a red. It probably should have been a red, but not even a yellow. Ridiculous. Moving on. I'll just get the refereeing out of the way, and then I'll talk about the game. Then Luizão sees a good yellow card for a handball that was rightfully called. On the other side, though, Alex Telles has an handball in basically the same scenario, not even a yellow. I'm not sure what happened there. We saw several Porto players come away without a yellow card, and Zivkovic with 2 plays. One of them I didn't even see, and the second one is clearly a yellow. Gets sent off in 2 minutes. Well, fantastic. And the penalty call on Luizão is not only incredibly weak, it's ridiculous. He's trying to pull his arm away behind his back. He can't remove his limbs. I'm sorry, he can't cut it down. So I'm sorry, he's not a cripple.
The word is amputee.
Whatever.
Ele já fala muito bem inglês, é português, não esquece.
One last play that I want to talk about that some Porto fans complaining, where there's a through ball by Brahimi to Marega. Not only that's not a foul, it's a goal kick for Benfica. And that was a terrible call by the referee. Anyway, I think officiating, obviously, with that extremely bad call, or that Mariana, I'm going to let her talk about that play rather than me. But besides that bad call that went in Benfica's favor, that maybe it wasn't even a bad call given that there was a foul on the play, Porto got the better end of refereeing throughout basically the whole game. So I hate how they talk about how they got robbed when they once again got helped. Anyway, talking about the game, Benfica shut down Porto for 35 minutes. Nobody could hear anybody in the stands. Yes, 35 minutes. 35 minutes.
Did you stop the clock, or did you stop the game during let the time go?
I'm talking about the game. Calm down. I'm talking about the first 35 minutes.
Benfica goggles he has on.
The first 35 minutes were completely dominated by Benfica. Porto are lucky that Jessa makes up for his big mistake that Jonas, should have scored there.
Oh, and a foul?
No, it's not even a foul, and that's a ghost
pois,
foul.
Tá bem.
Right
Okay, pronto, está bem.
Listen, thanks for talking about that play. Not only that play isn't a foul, right after
penalty
in that
também.
corner.
Penalty.
In that corner, there's a ghost foul that completely erases the corner. So that was a great job by Jorge Sousa, making the right call and then making the wrong call right after that. So that was great. But anyway, for 35 minutes, Benfica completely dominated Porto. I don't know what Porto team we were seeing, but it wasn't the Porto that everybody said that was going to dominate and that Bruno said that was going to win 5-0. In the second half, obviously, Porto was going to put the foot on the gas because, they're the home team. They want the win. Benfica was obviously content with the draw because tying it at the Dragão can be very useful because we take them at home in the second half of the league. So if we get a win, That's great. We're ahead of them. So, Benfica played a very good first 35 minutes. The second half was not as good. Still could have nicked the win, though. Bruno said out of luck. It would have been out of luck, but we could have nicked the win. Bruno Varela match for me. But yeah, Benfica just needs to work a bit better on that second half on how to counterattack a little bit more. Maybe with Zivkovic that would have changed, but we didn't even get to see that. So that's my thought on the game.
Okay, good. Now, before Bruno jumps in or Kevin, I still want to listen to Cynthia and Kerry. So Cynthia, go first.
Okay, I did want to mention to Bruno, because he's everybody's favorite Portista. Sorry, Kevin, on the pod. Okay, we'll do on the pod. But last week we got yelled at that it was going to be a blowout of 5-0 or more because Louisa and Jardel in the back are shit. Your guys didn't do anything. So as shitty as they are, your guys are shittier because they didn't jump on that chance.
Oh, no, they did, but it was disallowed.
No, see, sweetheart, it wasn't disallowed because if we changed the colors of the jersey and you saw that falta, you guys would be shitting your pants about the falta também.
What foul?
No.
What foul?
Oh, God. The sandwiching of the dude in the middle. That's...
That's
Mas
ridiculous.
isso estamos a falar de sanduíche ou estamos a falar de futebol?
All right.
Comes up to like, well,
Anyway, your 5-0 didn't happen. So even if you're fighting for 1-0, your 5-0 was gone. That's a pipe dream, as you guys like to have.
No. Well, here's the thing. This is the thing. You got to understand. If that ball, first of all, if that penalty is called, because that's a penalty, because last time I checked, uncas are not on legs. I mean, are on hands. They're not. But okay, if that's penalty, it's a 1-0 right before the half. And you have your center back taken out. Minha amiga.
Players cannot be sent off by second yellows on penalties now.
What? It was second yellow, not a second yellow.
Players can't get sent
They
off
can't
on
for Porto.
second
Not
yellows
anymore.
on penalties.
Yeah, Peter's correct about that, Bruno. On a penalty, you cannot be sent off. Yeah.
So what is that? It's just going to stay as nothing?
It would have been a penalty. It would have been a penalty.
They
That's
erased the double.
But hold on a second,
yellow.
because I have to remind Peter, because I know he forgets, and on all the Benfiquistas on the panel as well, because they forget. Because right after the Philippe, and by the way, the Philippe call, if we all go to the newspapers, they all said it was a yellow card. It wasn't.
Of course, the newspapers. Great
Let's call it how it is. I know you don't want to admit it. I know the Benfiquistas. Listen, I know the Lampions want to hang their hat on the Philippe foul, and that's why they, say that they didn't get benefited. But the matter of the fact is, they got benefited. It was only a yellow card, and let's not forget, right after that call, after that foul, Brahimi, Brahimi gets fouled from behind, no ball from behind. The referee gives advantage, and then he forgets like Peter to give the yellow card. But, that comeu muito queijo. I don't know what the guy did the night before.
I mean, he definitely forgets to give out Alex Telles and all the other Porto players yellow cards.
Hold on, that was one yellow card. Now you're talking about...
Okay, guys. Okay. Well, due respect to both of you, but Cynthia didn't finish her...
sorry.
Yeah, shut up, boys. Shut up.
Go ahead.
For Zivkovic, I'd like to just point out my buddy Zivko. He does 2 fouls, gets 2 yellows. Bye. How about our buddy on the other team? What's his name, guys? Philippe? Philippe was kicking everybody. That guy's chopping people down like it's a goddamn kickboxing match.
These guys are so worried about Philippe.
Aprendeu com o Pizzi.
Aye, come on.
Always on Philippe.
Because Philippe is the most aggressive player out of Porto.
And
like
then
the guy, but he's
you were also wrong in your pick for the ref last week, Bruno. You were like, "Oh, I promise you this. Bet any money on it. It's going to be that guy," and it wasn't. It was a different man. And you still.
Lau Fontelas, he heard the podcast and he wanted to prove me wrong.
That didn't help.
He heard the pod. You still got it wrong. You didn't get your 5-0. I'm sorry. You should have done it.
It could have been 5-0. With the amount of chances, it could have been.
Could have been 2-0 at best.
You didn't do it. Get your tie. So, Kevin, thank you for the 2 points that you were saying you gifted it.
Yeah, it was gifted.
My
One
We'll
point
friend.
take it.
was given to Benfica. It
Christmas
was taken,
is
yeah.
coming. We'll take it.
And I forgot about that play with the clean goal that was waved off, Bruno. That was
The
ridiculous.
clean goal.
We'll talk about that. Let
Anybody want to
Carrie
take the
go
clean
ahead.
goal?
So Kerry, hey Peter, I know you want to be the host today, but you can't be. So shut up.
I know. I'm telling you.
Okay, Kerry, go ahead, Kerry.
For me, like everyone has said, there was some bad calls. The first 15, 20 minutes, Benfica was solid. We pretty much played defense for the rest of the match. Man of the match for me, though, was definitely Varela. He made some excellent saves. Did I want to win? Yes, but I'll take the draw. Like Cynthia said, Post gifted it to us.
Okay, sounds good. So everyone gave us the 2 cents. So now let's go over a few plays. Minute 12, Felipe. He has a behind Jonas' back. He kills him basically.
The kickboxing, yes.
I basically think it's a red card. So Portices, what do you guys think?
Well, this is what I think. I love to hear that people think that's a red card. We forget that, Luizão had one in Moreirense this year. It wasn't given a red card,
We're
and they said,
talking
"Oh,
about the Classico.
we're talking about similar foul." He steps on the ankle, and they said, "Oh no, that was only a yellow card." But now they want a red card. So the criteria is not the same for everybody. So we have to figure out what the criteria
pretty
is.
happy with the yellow.
You know what? Yeah,
Oh,
you know what's
it's a
exactly.
yellow
I was gonna
card.
say, you know what's even worse?
It's a hard foul.
He didn't even get a yellow.
We can agree one thing. He deserves a yellow card. Now, you coming out and hanging your hat that's the reason why you didn't win the game and you want to cover up that you got
not even
all these
close.
balls?
You guys
that's
still got the
what it
better
is.
calls. You still
It's
got
a
the
red,
better calls.
It's no red card. It's a yellow card. You have to move on. You have to accept it. Even the Lampions, the ones that can't see more than red, they admitted that was just a yellow card.
Of course.
Okay, so
said otherwise, though.
okay,
Kevin, go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's what we've said. It is a yellow.
No, it was a hard foul. I mean, if that was the other way around, if that was Luizão that chopped somebody down like he did last year against Moreirense and got away with it,
Do you think
it wouldn't have been a big deal. Oh,
You're thinking of
whatever.
Peasy.
Whoever the hell it happens so often that I don't even remember who does it.
Stop it.
So-
Move on. Always so often.
So, no, it's true. And if that was the other way around, they would say, "Oh, that's nothing. It's a hard foul at best in the yellow." But because it was their crown jewel Jonas that got taken down, it's a big deal. They always talk about Felipe. Felipe against Chaves. Felipe does this.
Because Felipe's the
Felipe against
Porto's most
Boavista.
I
aggressive
wonder
player.
why.
Well, too bad. Luizão is your most
Kevin,
aggressive player.
He's the new. He's
Kevin,
the new
Kevin, you know why?
Why?
You know why you keep on talking about Felipe? They keep on talking about Felipe because they read the cartilla.
Because he's dirty.
no, it's not the point. I'm not even Benfica, but Felipe, he's one of the players in the Liga NOS. For some reason, he's been giving la carte blanche. He never gets yellow cards. That guy never gets yellow cards in any game. He should have been red carded a long time ago. But now I want to hear the Benfiquistas. Somebody from the Benfica panel, give me your 2 cents.
I'll let Maz go.
What am I giving 2 cents about? The 12th minute?
Yeah.
Never said it should have been a red card. Definitely a yellow card. That would have conditioned Felipe for the rest of the match.
Indeed.
Not saying that that's the reason why we didn't win. We didn't win, just like there's a lot of reasons why Porto didn't win. A yellow card. On the way that he did, he ended the game with at least about 10 fouls. He would have been sent off eventually.
I agree. That was a really good assessment, Mediana. Kerry, do you have something to say? No, Kerry?
No.
She might be with
Okay.
she might be with Arya.
Okay.
But I could say
can
what
give it 2
because we
cents.
talked about this before. So she does think that it could be a red, but she's kind of on the fence about it. She thinks that it could have been a red. Yeah, I think it could have been a red. I mean, if he gave
How
a red,
about
I could
you
have
say I
understood
think
why.
that
But
Felipe is dirty?
oh, there she is.
Ooh.
How about you say that?
Yes, girl.
He's just a little more aggressive.
He's a dirty
Doesn't make him
player.
dirty.
He's a dirty player.
Luizão's dirty.
Yeah, okay.
all right. You know,
Okay,
you
okay,
know, Steph.
Cynthia. Let me know, Cynthia. What about your thoughts, Cynthia?
Of course, I think he's a dirtbag player. They got Maxi Pineda. They got this guy. All the like
Don't
seriously
start
to
talking
be
about
on
Maxi.
Porto. But I'm just saying, to be on Porto, you've got to have that attitude, the Quaresma attitude, the Felipe attitude, where you just kick. It's not a goddamn
Bruno
kickboxing tournament.
Alves.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. Case in point, Bruno goddamn Alves. Everybody remember this? Ay. They've always got at least one guy circulating in there who's a kickboxer.
Yeah,
it's
like
too
Lizil. He's a stomper, right?
Yeah, he's that. He's a stomper, but he's not on your team. Stick to your team.
Okay,
Right.
so now let's move on to Peter. You keep forgetting I'm the host, not you. I know you
Shut
want
your
to
face,
jump in.
Peter.
Yeah, I know. Today,
I'm
relax.
just used to it.
I know you
It's gonna
do it.
happen.
Jesus cala-te, caralho. Merda.
Take a
I'll
break.
try.
Take a break.
Okay, minute 45. Let's talk about minute 45. Porto claims a penalty from Luizão, and the VAR kicked in, and the referee said, "Move on." Benfica, what do you think?
Since I don't think I talked about the flip play, I already did, but it doesn't matter. I'll go first. Luizão can't do anything about that. He's trying to move his arm back. Even if it hits him, it's incredibly close to his body. It's not even extending. It's not even extension of his body because it's so close to his body that it's almost like he's got his arms behind his back. So, everybody that's saying that's a penalty, it would be an incredibly harsh foul.
Okay, so now Kevin, what do you have to say about that?
Peter, you're being ridiculous here. He has nobody around him. The ball was crossed from outside the box. He's in the middle of the box. He sticks his hand out, his arm out, and then tries to bring it back behind his back.
No, and by the way, there's not even a Porto player behind him. Just saying.
There's nobody behind him. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
it doesn't
not
make
even
a difference.
Porto player on anyone.
So what does that matter?
No, that's not true.
Hey, but
Don't lie.
Bruno, even if so, right? Think of it this
Hold
way.
on.
Just
Time out.
There's a
because
guy outside.
I have one question for Peter, Kevin. The question you should ask Peter is the following: did the ball change its trajectory? Yes or no?
Yeah, it did.
Okay, that's a
Was it-
penalty.
was-
Thank you.
was his-
Thank
was
you.
his
That's all I need to
arm-
know.
No.
I don't need to know anything else.
No.
That's all I need to know.
Can I just chime in here?
No, because. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, Peter. So I'm just going to put it out there. I'm not for Luizão leaving right away because I love him. He's our captain for so many years, but he's getting old.
We should.
I honestly think he was trying to get down to try and head it.
Right.
But he's so goddamn slow now that
Yes. He changed his mind.
Yes, yeah. So as this poor old man is falling and he can't get up, he's going, and his stupid arm, you put your arms down when you go to land. He's putting it down, and then he realizes, I've got to get this out of here. Because the motion is he is putting it behind his back. And I think that's what the ref saw too, because that's what I saw. He's a fucking old man, and he's trying to do young shit and head it into the goalie when it's so damn low. He has no business trying to do a header.
I don't care what
I
he's
don't know
trying
why
to do.
he tried.
But
But I don't think that's a penalty. I think that's a super harsh
his,
penalty.
His arm is very close to his body. It changed trajectory. Yeah, like it would have changed trajectory.
It was
if it hit his
intentional,
chest.
guy. He stuck his arm out, Peter.
It
Come
wasn't
on.
intentional.
No,
He's
your
pulling
guy
his
was
arm
intentional
back.
later on.
Oh my God.
He's trying to
Okay.
put his arm behind.
Even Steph, that's neutral and hates both clubs, thinks that.
I disagree. And another thing, by your logic, just because there was no Porto players around, doesn't mean you can just use
Kevin
your
is
arm.
wrong.
No,
Kevin,
I'm
you're
just
wrong. Kevin, you're wrong. There's a guy that was making a run on the far post.
What, like
There was a defender with him. There was a defender with him. There was Andre Almeida, I believe. But there was a guy making a run at the far post. I believe it was Brahimi. So
Nobody
the
would have
ball
gotten to
could have
that ball
gotten
if it
to
went
him.
through.
If the cross goes along, we don't know if the ball's going to get to Brahimi, if it's going to get cut out by Andre Almeida. We don't know. So changing the trajectory of the ball and prohibiting the player to receive the ball is called a penalty. Penalty, punto final. It wasn't called erro grave.
I'm just making an example. By that logic, just real quick, by that logic, there was no Porto players around, it's okay to use your hand. In that case, if there's nobody around, then defenders should start pick up the ball and catch it.
That I'm just saying, even if
Basically,
the
it don't matter if there's nobody
through,
around. A penalty's a penalty, and it was a penalty.
Whatever. Anyway, Steph, go on.
Except Paparud.
Okay, Mariana, let me hear your thoughts.
I can see how obviously Portichas are going to think it's a penalty. I agree with what's been said. I do not see what they mean by he's sticking his arm out. I think the ball goes to the arm, not the other way around. I mean, he's tall as fuck. What do you expect him to do if he's going to head the ball? No, he's just fucking tall.
He couldn't kick that out.
Half a year to just get down to the floor.
Yeah,
he could have kicked it out, but
he had
again,
plenty of time to make up his mind.
Knowing Luis Down, he is probably better with his head than he is with his feet.
You know, the issue is that Porto got nothing besides that play, and they're scrutinizing it so badly because they want it to be something that it's not.
Well,
exactly,
Bruno said
that's the thing.
If this is the 2 points that cost them the Campionat, this is it.
But
well, I don't know about the Campeonato, but at least the game, yes.
You said the Campionat, querido. I'm not gonna lie about that.
He said, to all fairness, Cynthia, he said it could affect the Campeonato.
Oh no, sweetheart! I'm telling you now, it will. We're getting the Penta. Remember, I've told you this many times. Penta é nosso. Thank you for the Christmas gift.
And I told you I would buy you un Penta, and I'll mail it to you. Don't worry about it.
All right.
Eu mando un Penta.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. But, okay, let's move on. So now, let's talk about the most doubtful play of the whole game, which is minute 56.
There's no doubtful play. It's a reality.
Okay, so minute 56, when the Portichas did claiming a goal disallowed. So I'm going to let the Benfiquistas go first. I want to hear Cynthia first. Go ahead, Cynthia.
I don't want to go first. Can I let Bruno go first? I want to rebuttal. I don't want to be first. I want to rebuttal him because I know. So go ahead. I want to rebuttal.
That's fine with me. So I'm going to let Kevin go first, actually. Go ahead, Kevin.
Okay. So looking back on the replay, I didn't see any foul. Watching it live, when I assumed that it was offside because they showed the replay with the line and everything. So if they had called offside, then I would have been ridiculous. But in my opinion, I don't think that's a foul. I think it was Grimaldo that got sandwiched or whatever.
Yeah, got sandwiched. By the way, Kevin, they did call the wrong foul because they called offside. That's what they called. So
they called offside, which is even ridiculous.
Yes, they did.
What the hell were they thinking? First of all, Maraga wasn't even offside. And Abubakar, sorry, yeah, because I was thinking about Maraga, so many chances. Abubakar wasn't offside, and whoever finished it, who scored? Oh God, Herrera scored. That's a clean goal. Even he's not offside, because when Abubakar shoots the ball, Herrera's onside. So is it now they're being like, oh, there could have been a foul in the play? I don't think it's a foul. I think it's just an excuse to sweep it under the rug.
Okay, Bruno, jump in, Bruno.
Well, we have to remember what minute this was. This was minute 56, 57, something like that?
56.
Okay. So taking a goal at the 56th minute changes the whole dynamic of the game. Porto was already on top of Benfica. Benfica couldn't get out of their half for pretty much the 45 minutes. It would have been a blowout like I would have predicted if the goal would have been allowed because it did go in cleanly. There is no foul. That's, again, Benfica trying to manipulate images in people's heads, more importantly, that there was a foul. They're trying to find excuses. There is no foul. You want sandwiches, go to the deli. Don't come over here with the soccer talk that there were sandwiches. There was no sandwich. There was no nothing. The guy tried to get to the ball. He missed the header. It went to Abubakar. Abubakar took a shot. Varela made a good save. Herrera on the rebound. The question is this linesman going to be suspended, and for how long? That's what I want to know.
Okay, now, Cynthia, jump in.
All right. So for myself personally, I was watching it on TV. They said offside, and I didn't understand because I was seeing the images on the screen. My father-in-law, however, was in the car, and he says that on the radio, the guys said foul. So when he got home and he told me that, I was like, okay, I can see a foul, regardless if Bruno sees it or not. I can see the foul, just like I can see kickboxing happening. So I'm not blind to these things. However, the whistle happened before the ball went in, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And then after that,
Yeah, the whistle
what is this
went
rule that?
even before that Abubakar shot.
Yes.
Yes.
No,
And then
no, it's not.
Yeah.
That's
It is.
okay, tell
incorrect.
me how the
No,
game
that's
happened.
correct. The whistle was blown before Abubakar.
No, it was after.
Yeah.
It
No.
was before Herrera took the shot, but
Listen,
It
after
was
after
maybe.
listen,
It was
Steph
maybe by 1 second, but it was.
watched the play right before we came on the air, so
Yeah.
he should know.
Yeah. So, Mediana, jump in.
Right. There is absolutely no imagens manipuladas. I've sent to the images that I've seen throughout the week. Complete and utter bullshit. Sandwiches will go to the deli. Well, if you want Paul, we'll go fishing. I was listening to
Yes.
Classico on Antena 1. Said it was clean. If you look at the images, you see two Porto players rugby tackling Grimaldo. Fair enough, it was not an offside. Salvi was keeping the Porto player in. Right there. There was only a shot after the whistle had been blown, so let down his guard. So the way that Varela was defending, he probably would have saved that anyway. We're not trying to make excuses. If you said that you were going to win 5-0 or whatever, then why are you only focusing on the penalty and the offside? The fact that Marella was absolutely, or Marega, or whatever the fucking name is, was absolutely shite, and he basically gave the point away.
I actually forgot to
Yeah.
mention that.
If you had called for VAR, they would have seen that foul. So
Mhm.
whatever happened, if it was a goal for you, it would have been unfair. It's unfair anyway.
But I still don't see the foul. I mean, we are talking that this is soccer, not basketball, so there is contact.
There's two guys. One, I listen, Bruno. Hold on. So let me just say real quick because I know Steph might forget about me. No, listen. I agree that it would be a weak foul because I honestly think it would be a weak foul because the Porto player he's heading the ball at the same time that Grimaldo is getting sandwiched by the other player. It would have been a weak call, but you guys can't even talk about a clean goal. You can talk about a clean goal scoring opportunity that was denied by you because Abubakar shot when it was already whistled for offside. So at best, you guys have a clear goal scoring opportunity that was taken away from you. Not a goal scoring opportunity. That by the way,
goal was taken away.
Save anyway. No, it was not a goal because
And on the
everything happened
rebound,
after
Herrera
the
put it
whistle.
in. Oh, come on, dude.
Everything
You gotta be
happened
kidding
after
me.
the whistle. It was a goal scoring opportunity that was denied by you guys, not a goal. A goal would have been
It was
if
a goal
he
that
blew the
was waved
whistle and
off,
Abubakar would have
called
scored.
for either
If
offside
Abubakar-
or a foul,
if Abuba-
which neither
if Abubakar-
existed. None existed.
All right, I quit. Steph, go
Peter, I'm gonna rebuttal with all these guys talking about fouls because if you're gonna call that as a foul, then we have to revisit back to the first half where Marega got touched in the box when he tried to get past Jardel, and Jardel kept his foot out, kept his foot out, and he stepped on his ankle. He stepped on his ankle.
Goal kick.
He stuck his foot out. And he kept his ankle, and he touched his ankle, and he went down. If that's a foul that you guys are complaining about, then that's a penalty.
That's a goal kick. It's not.
No. I'm not talking about that one. I'm talking about the one in the corner. I'm talking about the one in the corner in the box.
Wait, which one? Are you talking about that?
He's talking about. He's talking about minute 31.
I know.
Minute 31.
I know.
Because you didn't hear me. You did not hear me complain about that play. I don't think that's a penalty. But if you guys are gonna go that far and you're gonna start saying, "Oh, but there was contact," then if that's contact and that's enough for a foul, then the other one's got to be a foul too.
Can I just ask you something?
Go ahead.
Did you watch the play? Not the play, but did you focus on what foul we're talking?
I know which one you're talking about. If you guys complain about a sandwich,
have you actually looked at it? And you're not
I saw the images with the arrows. I saw images with no arrows. I saw video. I do not see a foul. I see two guys competing for a ball, and I see the Porto player winning the ball cleanly, and you guys were beat on that, and that's it.
Limpingo until it's us. I know, but I know.
So let me ask a question. Okay. So my question will be the following. Mariana already admitted the offside should have been an offside. So Peter, was that an offside or not? Let's not talk about the foul. Just the offside itself.
Of course not.
No. Okay.
Anybody that would say it is
Now you're blind. It was an offside. It was not an offside. You're blind, Peter.
It was an offside. I know. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, then I'm sorry.
He's saying it wasn't.
Okay. What about you, Cynthia? What do you think?
No, I don't think it's an offside.
Okay.
When I was talking to you, I told you I was watching live, and the first image they showed, because they stop the video and then they do the replay. The first image they showed, they didn't show that top corner where there was a guy up there.
Correct.
So when I first saw it, I was like, this does look offside. But then when I saw other images where it was like the full screen, I was like, oh shit, that's not offside.
So everybody agreed that it was not an offside. So that's good. Okay.
Steph, we have to also Steph, hold on.
The Benfica are claiming the foul, which is valid too. I saw the play. It could have been. It was a 50-50 call. It could have been a foul, yes.
First of all, you have to thank Sport TV. We all have to thank Sport TV. And we have to say the thank you because they didn't minimize image, because on Benfica TV we would have never saw Grimaldo or whoever it was.
Crimea River, get to the point.
We're always manipulating things. That's how we work. We didn't win.
That's how you win championships.
Yeah, of course.
You win championships. You win championships by manipulating images, right?
Yeah, we're just going to sweep a Pitorado under the rug so it benefits you. No, just go on.
Well,
let's read all the emails.
By scoring, so you can have Marega out there, huh?
Right?
Okay, so let's move on. Minute 62, Otavio faked a penalty and got a yellow card. What do you guys have to say about that? Let Kevin speak first.
I don't think that's a penalty. Obviously, he dove. There's really not much to say about that. The yellow was rightfully shown to Otavio. Not really much to add. Besides, it was the right call.
Okay. What about you, Bruno? What do you think?
No penalty.
Okay. The yellow card was it fair and square?
Yeah.
Okay.
For a dive?
Yeah.
For a dive, it's always fair and square.
Okay. Is Carrie back, Kevin, or no?
I think she's still with Aria.
Okay. So Mariana, what do you think?
That was just complete diving. So yeah, yellow.
Okay, Cynthia.
I think hell froze over because I agree with the two portistas. Olha lá, querido. Epa.
For the first time, everybody is agreeing. Holy shit!
It hurts a little bit. I'm telling you, I'm a little afraid.
Do you want me to go ahead and say it's a penalty just to agree with everybody?
Just to be a shit? Yeah, do it.
No. Okay, I'm guessing Peter, you agreed as well?
Yeah, it's a flop.
Okay, good. So let's move on to the next question, which this one, I think it's going to take a long time. And nobody's talking about it, but you'll see. Minute 71, diretor do Benfica, o Tiago.
É o 12º jogador.
Yeah. So he kicks the ball, and then here comes a friend from Porto into the pitch, and all that confusion. So now, who's to blame about the whole thing? Bruno, go first this time.
Who's to blame?
Yes.
I mean, is that even a question to ask? I mean,
well, I'm asking you the question, so just answer.
You have to blame. You have to blame. What's his name? Tiago Pinto, right? That's his name.
Tiago Pinto.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you have to blame him. I mean, he has to be suspended for that because, as an administrator, you have no business getting involved in the game. And he came and he kicked the ball away. You're wasting time. And by the way, that whole was about 4 or 5 minutes long, and it was never discounted at the end of the game. We cannot forget about that. That call or those minutes that we spent, that problem was never added at the end of the game.
Sure.
Well, he gave four minutes of overtime. Yeah.
Okay. But we had 5 substitutions. So substitutions is usually about 3 to 4 minutes. But that did not last 1 minute. That lasted 4 to 5 minutes. And it was never discounted at the end of the game.
That's because they remembered about the 7 minutes they gave it to Portimonense.
Thank you.
Hey,
Thank you.
who said minutes?
Okay,
Steph.
now Peter.
Steph,
Peter was-
don't go there. Don't go there because on Wednesday we're going to talk about penalties and no penalties and big teams and small teams. Don't forget because I got good ones for you.
Okay,
We'll
no
get to
problem.
that.
I'll be
Don't
ready
worry.
for you, bro. I'll be without a t-shirt and everything. Just to listen.
Yeah,
Yeah, carajo.
but focus on me first, though.
Okay, go ahead, Peter Pan.
All right. So, first of all, I want to bring back to a play that everybody missed, and I'm surprised that the participants missed because I think they were going. I assumed that they were going to talk about a ghost elbow by Jonas on Danilo. I'm surprised everybody missed out on that. But anyway,
I've got it on my notes.
Nice, Marianne. So you're talking about how o diretor do Benfica shouldn't do that and this and that. Well, I saw the Porto. I don't know what the hell he is. I think he's the diretor of comunicações or something. Will shout at every single referee and doing whatever he wanted, and he didn't get sent off after that play. I mean, he could say and do whatever the fuck he wanted.
He got sent off at the end of the game.
I know, I was going to get to it. He only got sent off when they were in the locker room. I wonder why. Anyway, that play. First of all, didn't we see, can somebody remind me, didn't we see, I don't know, was it Naldo or something get sent off for pushing with Vidigal a couple of years ago at Aroca?
Yes.
I'm not gonna say that Marega should have been sent off, but he pushed the guy. He should have at least gotten a yellow. What he did was obviously trying to waste time. So obviously he was rightfully sent off. Nothing against that. Marega shouldn't have reacted like that. He should have at least gotten a yellow. That Porto fan, what the fuck? I mean, you can't blame that on anyone but him. He's a cunt for doing that.
And you don't want to talk. The fans have ran onto the field and actually attacked the linesman.
I know. I'm not defending him. Jesus,
Okay.
I'm not
And he
defending
got
him.
I'm just
his time
saying.
for it, so it's only fair that Porto gets the same.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
hold on. Was the stadium closed for that or no?
No, it wasn't. I don't.
And
I'm not going to agree with that, Bruno. Calm down. I'm just saying that guy should be punished, and Porto should get some random fee
Hold
to
on a
pay,
second.
obviously. But hold on, I'm almost done. So what I take away from that is that obviously he could have added more minutes. I was surprised that he only gave 4. I was expecting at least 6, but thankfully for us it was only 4.
I think at least 9.
Calm down, Maria. Not that many.
Who said 9? Who said 9?
Mariana.
Jesus! It would have been another 45 minutes. Oh.
Right.
I know
It
you're
would have
kidding.
needed that for Philippe to get a yellow card.
He still wouldn't get it.
No, you
Still
wouldn't.
waiting for it.
So to sum up what I said was that the guy was rightfully sent off. The referee should have added at least another extra minute or 2 to that. Marega probably could. Marega should have seen a yellow. Probably could have seen more because we've seen referees give more for that. Listen, I'm just going off what I saw a couple of years ago.
Okay.
And something that was basically the same. Anyway, so yeah, what I take away from it, the Porto fan, that was ridiculous. I hope Porto gets fined because fans can't do that, and hopefully gets banned for at least 2 years.
Porto will be fine. Porto will be fine for sure because the way the Liga looks at it is the stewards, the security, they call them stewards.
Mm-hmm.
They should have stopped them.
They missed that.
Which is almost impossible. When you have a packed stadium, it's hard to control everybody.
Right, but imagine he had something else,
Yeah, I know. I agree. But how many games do you think the Tiago Pinto should be suspended for? It doesn't make any difference to Benfica. He's just a
4.
4? Mariana, how many games?
I don't really care how many games he gets suspended for. He shouldn't have done it. It's probably not even needed on the bench, so he can be suspended for as long as they want.
Exactly. That's how I think too. What about you, Cynthia?
I agree. I don't know what he was doing. I was so embarrassed when he did that.
Okay. Bruno?
I'm with you guys. It doesn't. He's irrelevant.
Exactly. And Kevin?
Oh, we're talking about the guy from Benfica who started all that?
Yeah, the diretor.
I could care less.
Okay, good. So everybody agrees on that one, which is
so
good.
Does nobody want to just talk about Marega's reaction? Like, isn't that worth something?
How about we talk about Pizzi's reaction? coming off
Oh,
the bench
yes.
and doing what he did.
He was pissed at what? Wait.
I don't give a shit. He's on the bench. You stay on the
he
bench.
was-
Time out.
You have no
Yes,
business
he's
on
on
the
the
field.
bench.
Hold
If you're on the
I'm
bench,
lost. What happened?
oh, no. If you're on the
everybody
bench,
like everybody else, yeah.
hold on. If he's on the bench and he has a reaction, he comes out and he hits or pushes or has any kind of contact with a player that's on the field. Doesn't matter if he's running off the field to, try to get a ball or whatever it is. But if he contacts or he has contact with a player,
Yeah,
that
what am
is
I missing?
because did you not?
No, honestly, what am I missing? Yeah, what am I missing?
Here's the problem, Peter, because the red press only focuses on the player
I'm not
or on the fan.
Just
on
tell
the
us
fan.
what happened.
Exactly.
I don't know what
I
you're talking
only
about either.
saw-
What are you
I only
talking
saw
about?
Unbelievable.
the goddamn
You see this,
sportive
Bruno?
thing.
They see what they
I
want.
I know. Well, I'm painting a picture. Let me paint the picture, Peter. Calma. Calma, pa. Mete
You're talking
Zanek.
about the red press. Just talk about the play.
The red press, listen to me. The red press has this thing where they like to protect Benfica, and they only focus on the fan running onto the field. They don't focus on how the player comes off the bench and pushes Marega. If he contacts Marega or any other player from
I
Porto,
really didn't see that.
that's a suspension.
There was a giant scrum.
All right,
so do you
I
want
guess
all of
we're
them to be
expecting
suspended?
Marega to
Understood.
get suspended too.
Agreed. It's a giant problem. There's a big scuffle going on. It doesn't
Right.
change anything that he still needs to be suspended. I think that's
All right, I
what
hope Marega
that's what
suspended
Kevin. But he
Yeah,
didn't do anything. He went to go get a ball.
Bruno's got a good point there.
Marega pushed him. That's aggression. I don't care what you.
No, Pizzi
The
started
push
first. Why
Push
is that
two.
fan went after Pizzi?
Marega pushed the diretor de comunicações. How did you guys not see that? He
No,
pushed him.
I saw it too, but it doesn't mean he should have
I
got
know.
the red card.
But
But
no, Steph. But what I'm just trying to say is that if they're talking about Pizzi getting suspended, then Marega should be suspended too because he pushed.
For what? He's
Also,
authorized to be on the field.
he pushed the director de
Yeah, but
comunicações.
That guy
pushing,
came
you
off
just
the
said
bench, though. He's
I
an
don't know how you
instigator.
want to call it.
The whole bench
I don't give a
instigated
shit who
that.
I don't
started
care what
it.
you want to call
I
it.
do.
It's
If you're
aggression.
pushing,
He pushed
everybody
them.
gets suspended. What are you doing?
Exactly.
You're a grown ass man. Keep your hand to yourself.
Yeah. If that was the
That's
Porto
it.
bench, these guys would want everybody ejected.
No, I don't.
I always want you
whatever.
guys ejected. What are you talking about?
hey, we'll have to agree to disagree on this one.
Yeah.
But Portices, so how long do you think how big of a fine Porto should pay, and should the stadium be closed for one game or two games? What do you guys think?
Kevin, you want it? Go first.
Yeah, I'll take this first. As far as the fine goes, I would be okay with it. And as far as playing the game behind closed doors, I would be okay with that too. But in the same token, if the same thing happens with Benfica or any other club, it doesn't matter who they are, the same thing should happen to them. So I don't want any exceptions at all. If they want to close the stadium for one game, then be consistent with it. I've always said this, that if the fans get out of hand, that should be the steps taken to try to clean up the game. If not, then it's just going to continue.
Agreed. I like that, Kevin. I like that. What about you, Bruno? Go ahead.
Okay, well, here's my assessment. My assessment is I think they should get the max fine, which is pretty hefty. If they're gonna close down the stadium, so be it. They'll close down the stadium maybe one game or even two games. But there is also one thing that we have to add, and it's undeniable, because if you watch the video, it is there. A faixa dos Diabos Vermelhos. It's against the law in Portugal to have banners of illegal claques, and that if you're supporting it, it's a game ban. So they have to close Benfica Stadium because it was hanging in the Estádio do Dragão.
Can I just go real quick? Okay, so listen, we saw a
You
team.
did say real quick, so go ahead, real quick.
We saw a team do miles worse than what Porto and Benfica did, and they didn't get a match ban or whatever. We saw Sporting fans burn down Benfica Stadium. What happened to Sporting? Nothing. I'm sorry, Steph, to bring
We
this up,
paid.
but
We paid for the damages.
you guys paid for the
Yeah.
damages, yeah, but you guys should have been, the stadium should have been like they said, behind closed doors. Games played behind closed doors. What I think they should do, and I know they're not going to do.
You shouldn't have gone there because now you're pissing me off. Okay, so
Sorry.
if you want to talk about that,
No, I don't. I just wanted to use it as an
in
example.
1996, you killed one of our fans, and then you
Obviously,
repeated the same thing in
that's-
2016, and nothing happened to you guys.
That
Not-
second one was outside of the stadium. I don't think anybody, you can't blame Benfica on that, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, what I'm just trying to say is, you know what I would do? I would do something very different and something very important. You would not allow Porto fans in the stadium for the second part of the season.
Bullshit.
Just don't sell any tickets to them.
That's not right. They have a right to have a certain amount of tickets
But
sold
that's
to them.
that's how I would penalize Porto.
Okay, and then next year, how about this? Next year, when Porto
If the
plays
same thing
Benfica,
happens to Benfica, exactly
or
the
if
same
they
thing.
or
Bro,
if they play for
listen,
Taça
I'm
Portugal,
trying-
whatever Taça da Liga,
Yo,
then Benfica fans should not be allowed into Porto Stadium at all. That's it.
Listen to me, Kevin. You know me. You know that it doesn't matter if it's X, Y, or Z. I'm saying I would apply this rule to Benfica, to Porto, Sporting, to Braga, to Guimarães. I don't care. If it would be a fair punishment because it would mean much more than a game behind closed doors if Porto didn't have any fans at the Estádio da Luz. It would create a much higher impact. And just to answer Steph's question, obviously they should get the highest, whatever
penalty. Yeah, and which I think they will anyway, because that's the way the Liga NOS does. They rather give a big penalty because they'll be making money out of it. Because I don't know if you guys follow the orçamento, the budgeting of each club. Benfica, Sporting, and Porto, they pay so much money to fine. It's unbelievable. So sometimes I think the referees, they show yellow cards and red cards to make money. Seriously, it did cross my mind, because at the end of the year, we're talking about almost $500,000 that each of our clubs pay for APA, for Liga, which is embarrassing. I think they make money off us.
Don't forget that the league is bankrupt.
Well, I don't know how.
That's a good one.
Somebody is making money. So now let's talk about Siskovic at minute 80 and 82. Do you guys think it was fair that he got 2 yellow cards so fast? Benfiquistas, Mediana, go ahead.
Second yellow was definitely yellow, absolutely. I mean, considering everything else that went on in the game, I don't see why he got yellow for that.
Oh.
Shout at me all you want, but that's basically it.
Okay. What about you, Cynthia?
We've said it so many times on the pod, like, we don't like when these refs just jump to the yellow cards. And I mean, we were watching Philippe all game with his kickboxing. There were no cards. So then Zivko comes out, immediate yellow. I thought the first one was a little too much. And then, the second one should have been a yellow. But then having to do 2 yellows back to back, bye, Zivko, like, what a waste of time. And again, we saw lots of other calls that weren't done, both Benfica and Porto. So lots of guys weren't getting cards. Give them the damn warning first. 2 minutes? Really? 2 minutes apart? What a waste of time.
Okay, Peter?
I think you would have an argument if it was done the other way around. If the fouls happened the other way around.
So don't give a warning first?
No,
listen,
I've told you before, I like the warning.
Let me, because I know what Bruno's talking about, and by law, both decisions are good, because whether you want to think that the first yellow was harsh or not, it's in the rules. Because what I think, I did not see the play because Sport TV didn't end up showing the replay, but I think he was not in the distance, and the Porto player kicked against him and kicked the ball against him, so that's a yellow card. That's an automatic yellow card. And I get what Bruno's trying to say. If that was the other play, this play after the first one, that's what you're talking about, Bruno, right?
Yeah. Because the first one, the second one, he stops a promising attack. So by law, you have to give him the yellow. But the first one, and again, this is me blaming the professional player. It doesn't matter which club you play for. As a coach, I would get mad at my player if he did something stupid like that, because you just got in the game. I put you in the game, and you're going to get a stupid yellow card. You just put yourself at risk, and look what happened. Then he paid the price. So as a fan, I would be very, very angry at my player. Stupid like that in the first foul, because it all starts with the first foul. The first yellow card is the reason why he got thrown out. It's not even the second one. The second one, he couldn't do anything about it. He did the right thing, which was stop a promising play. But the first one, it could have been very avoidable, and it just didn't happen.
So, just to finish off, the way that I see this is that we go throughout the game, and not just this game, a lot of games, where we see referees continuously giving players second chances. And when I think everybody can agree with me that the Felipe yellow and the Alex Telles yellow should have been shown, they weren't, so those players got away with that. So what I'm thinking is, yes, Zivkovic's foul is clearly for a yellow card, but you're looking at the clock, you say 82 minutes in, a player's been on the field for like 2 minutes. I've given Felipe, I've given Alex Telles, I've given Benfica players a second opportunity. Why shouldn't I give this guy another opportunity? That's just how I see it, because what they say is to avoid yellow cards at all costs, and they did that with certain players, right? With some Benfica and some Porto players. So I think it could have been a little more light on that decision. Now, do I think that it was rightfully sent off? Yes, I think so. But I also think that there's the other side where he could have definitely held off to that second yellow because of other plays that happened during the game that those players did not see yellow cards.
Okay, so I agree with both of you guys, but I'm also a strong believer that the referee shouldn't be on the spotlight. I think it was a bit too harsh, especially on the first yellow, and it sucked for Benfica at that point in time because we saw a lot of Porto players and Benfica players. They deserved yellow cards, and they were never shown yellow cards. And why Siskovic in 2 minutes, way too aggressive from George Souza. I didn't like that either. Now let's talk about Marega. Marega, I know you guys don't want to talk about it, but he was kind of the man of the match in a negative way. He missed a clear goal, minute 86. I mean, he shuffled his feet. I thought he was dancing the merengue or something. What the fuck was that? And then minute 90 plus 4, he misses another goal, a header by himself. Even my son, he's 12 years old, he can even play soccer, he would have scored that shit. So, Portistas, what do you have to say about that?
Kevin, you want to go first? You want me?
You can go first this time.
All right. Well, I mean, listen, I'm going to sum it up like this. Technically, Liga is very limited as a technical player. He's not the strongest technical player. I mean, the first goal is pretty tough because if you analyze the play, player that's right in front of him, that jumps right in front of him, and it was just a reaction, and he just hit it wrong. But that could happen to the best of us. I mean, a lot of guys shank plays.
So, are we talking about Marega or Peter?
No, Marega.
Because Marega makes how much does he make? 2.5 or 1.5?
No, I agree with Bruno.
No, I don't. I mean, that play, eu só tinha.
But I'll get to it.
Opa, eu só tinha que encostar o pé, caralho. Era só.
He did. He hit his ankle.
Listen, he tried. I think to blame Marek on that play is a little bit harsh because the play first happened so fast, and second of all, he does the right thing. The ball just doesn't hit the right spot. I think he's unlucky.
Yeah, they hit his ankle. He went with his foot.
Professional player.
Steph,
a professional player that isn't Porto caliber, by the way.
He's limited. He's limited technically. We all know that. We all said it. We all have seen it. The guy is limited technically. He's very good.
Mas que technically? Só tinha que encostar a bola, mais nada. You don't need no technique for that. You just point o pé lá, caralho. Que technique?
He put his foot. He put his foot and hit his ankle.
I don't get you technically. He wasn't dribbling anybody. Só tinha que encostar his pé.
I think
he put his foot. He hit his foot. It went to his ankle. He put his foot there and it went to his ankle. I mean, there's nothing you could do. It happens to the best of us. Now, the second one, the second goal, there's no excuse. You are taught since you were very small to head the ball down. He missed.
Yeah, we all saw that. Yeah, that's why it was 0-0, not because of the penalty and the other play. Ladies, what do you have to say?
Don't say that, Steph. Don't say that.
Oh, God.
Go ahead, ladies. Mariano or Cynthia, go ahead.
Maz, you want to go first?
I don't know. I already thanked Marega on Twitter because he basically did the Brian Ruiz. So,
oh, thank you.
Sorry, Steph.
It's
You're
okay,
never gonna
Miguel.
get away with it.
I just mentioned today, babe. Go ahead.
I don't watch Sporting and I don't watch Porto other than the games that they play against us. So Marega's now my favourite Porto player. Same way that we should be angry, so to speak, at Zivko, then Porto fans should be angry at Marega because, I mean, the same way that I'm sure Sporting fans were angry at Brian Ruiz for doing what he did last season.
Mm-hmm.
Overall, and this is just my general opinion, because really I should be packing for my trip to Lisbon tomorrow, but you know, it's just too much referee talk. So much, like, at least in my view, for Benfica, there was so much good coming out of that match. No one believed that we could ever come out with a draw. Salah just proved that he could be our number one goalkeeper. Almeida was amazing in defense, and everyone's just focusing on refereeing. If it was as good as everyone has been saying since September, then why do they need those 2 calls? They should have battered us completely. They shouldn't have needed those 2 calls. You know, just stop focusing on all the shit that's going on. Just watch the freaking football and just freaking support your team. Stop going at everyone. Jumping onto the pitch and being a dickhead because you're illegal. Nothing to do with it. Just support your team. Stop being a little bitch.
Cynthia, go ahead.
That's me done.
I actually agree with pretty much everything Matt said. I did want to mention one thing because you let the boys talk about whether or not they think the fines should happen and then the closed doors and having no fans at the match. I think that's a little rough. And in this day and age of social media, I've seen that guy's face everywhere. Just ban the guy for a couple of years. You're going to act like that? You're not allowed in here. He could have seriously hurt another person. Regardless if it's the other team, you're physically assaulting another person. Yes, I know the guys were talking about, oh, this guy's on the pitch, this one's on the bench. I know that, but they're in the game together. They are part of the game. Us as fans, we have no business going in there and trying to shove somebody, right? That's assault. Sorry, it is. So, 2-year ban, get your act together. Otherwise, you're not allowed back. I don't care if you're a socio. I don't care if you're in a clack. I don't care. Don't be touching other people. Now, everything that Matt said was just right on. And then the only thing I wanted to point out was that our buddy Bruno was picking on Steph last week saying, Brian Ruiz. I think Brian Ruiz is now pronounced Marega. It feels
Not
new.
even close. He had a wide open net. Marega at least had Varela in front of him.
No, he was
Yeah.
wide open. Varela couldn't get there in time. By the way, I want to piggyback just real quick of what Mas said about Andre Almeida. I want to take credit for saying that we've seen Andre Almeida stop Gelson and he stopped Brahimi. Brahimi was basically ineffective throughout the whole 90 minutes. So
He was, because he was getting double teamed. But let's look at the other side. Let's look at the other side where Grimaldo's asshole must be wide as a highway because Marega was going all day in there. Balls deep.
Yeah, how did that work out for them?
But it didn't matter. He missed all the goals anyway. But
exactly.
Yes, thank you.
He's coming in from the wing. It's a different story. It's not frontal at that time.
I thought.
By the way,
please stop.
Steph, can I just say something that's more relevant to the game than what we've been talking about?
Don't fall apart.
Tactically speaking, Porto is starting getting the better, the better hand of Benfica. They started playing better than Benfica once they moved to a 4-4-2. I think that's worth pointing out. As soon as Herrera started moving to one wing or the other, he was very flexible in that. And Marega joined up top with Abubakar was when Porto started to play a lot better. When they were playing their usual 4-3-3, they were basically ineffective. So I think that's worth pointing out. And another thing that Porto's got to do a lot more is diagonal passes. I don't know why they don't do those more, because one thing that I okay, but
no, go ahead, finish.
And one thing I don't want to see, and as much as I know everybody loves Luizão, and I love Luizão, and I respect him, but I've been saying for him to get off the field 3 years.
Talk him down.
For 3 years. Listen, Marian, this is very simple. Jardel isn't the player that he was 2 or 3 years ago, but he's still decent. Now, Luizão, though, 50 minutes in is basically ineffective, and he can't keep up with anyone. Porto had chances where he could have covered the ball easily out for a goal kick. So what I'm hoping for is that Benfica plays their game against Sporting. Obviously, it's going to be with Jardel. It should be with Jardel and Luizão, or Luizão and Ruben Dias. But we need to play the second game against Sporting and the second game against Porto with somebody else other than Luizão, because if they decide to exploit his speed, you're done. Because honestly, I don't know why Porto didn't try more diagonal plays like the one that they had with Marega and Jardel, because if they tried throughout the game, they would have scored easily, because they would have been in the face of Varela, 7 out of 10 times.
Well, to your defense, so Benfica defense, Ruben Dias, he's been out because of surgery.
I know.
So it was just bad luck. It happens. I have 4 other topics to talk about, so let's move on. Let's talk about the VAR. How was the VAR, Bruno? How do you feel about the VAR for this game?
It's ineffective, and we know why. They don't want the VAR in Portugal, period. Continue to make mistakes. Today, it's not going to be tomorrow. It's not going to stop. They're just going to continue purposely to make mistakes, because in Portugal, they do not want the VAR.
Okay,
Good.
so Mariana, what do you think we should do in Portugal for VAR to be successful?
I don't think there is. I think we're way too deep into whatever this is now to for it to ever be successful. They were bloody super excited when the VAR came in. It's like, oh yeah, no more calls for Benfica, whatever. And now all they do is moan about it. A supposed bad call against them, or whatever. They're never going to be happy whatever happens. You look at it, all you can do is still judge. So the referees, there's nothing we can do, basically. It's the first year they're trialing it. I don't know what people want from it, but perfect. You just...
I want results. That's what I want.
Okay, so Kevin, if you...
Team needs to play for it.
Quit acting like a chav.
And then tell the referee...
She's acting like a chav.
So Kevin, if you could say...
What freaking chav is?
Yes, I do. Sam told me.
You know Sam, Mariana?
Yeah, she knows Salty Sam. Of course she does.
I never met him in person, so...
I never met him in person either, but
Oh, okay. So Kevin, if you could fix the VAR, what would you change?
never mind.
Before I go into depth about the VAR, I just want to say hi to everybody that's in the live chat on YouTube. I see Canadian Kevin over there.
Entertained.
Yeah, I could see that. So hello to them. They're all Benfiquistas, I see. But yeah, going into the video refs, I mean, why even spend whatever amount it was? I don't know if it was 1 million or 2 million, whatever it was. A waste of time. It's inconsistent. They use it when they want to use it, and it's just ridiculous that how could you miss a clear penalty in a big game like that? That's when you should put it to use. Why didn't they use it? Why didn't they use it for the clean goal waved off?
The answer is simple. Kevin, the answer is simple, is because they don't want to.
Yeah, but if that was in the other box, they would have.
Bruno, let Kevin finish.
No. I'm not talking against anybody in particular. I'm just saying in general, the referees do not want to.
Because I want to get to the VAR, because you know that I was always against the VAR, so I want to get to it.
Okay, go ahead, Peter.
Hold on a second. Time out. I do want to add something to what Kevin said, though.
Go ahead.
We have to understand that in every other country the VAR is in, it has been astronomically successful. The only country that it's struggling is Portugal. And I said it in my Three Tugas podcast when they first announced it. It's not going to change anything in Portugal, because it's always going to come down if the referee wants to make the call or go to the VAR. They're not going to want to, so we're always going to have the consistent problem with this officiating. Until this group of officials are removed from Portuguese soccer, struggle.
Okay, Peter, go ahead now.
I was always against the VAR because I only thought that it was going to cause more drama. And guess what? Here we are. Everybody was going to use VAR as an excuse. That's what I saw. I told you guys what I think the VAR was always going to erase was offside goals. That was the one thing that it was going to completely erase, and not even that is easy erasing. The other thing is that we are getting, we complain. Stupid are VAR's bitch. Throughout, I don't know, like 14 games, they have been getting the short end of the stick every time. I watched the replay of the Guimarães game where they have a ball that clearly goes in. I think it was actually Gonçalo Paciência that scored. The ball clearly goes in. I mean, the images show it, and the referee goes to the VAR and they still don't call it a goal. I mean, listen, it's ridiculous. I don't think the VAR is ever going to work because, first of all, I think that the VAR should have an influence and stop the game. That's what I think. The VAR should be able to go against the referee's decision. That's how I see it. That's the only way it was going to work. But we need to stop blaming the VAR for everything because a lot of the plays that we're going to see, and I did say this, where a lot of 50-50 calls are still going to go down to the referee. And even with the images, even if they check the images, it doesn't mean that they're going to change the call. So what I think is that a lot of the calls that were getting called 50-50 are still getting called 50-50. That's it. That's the only difference that the VAR should be making, and it's not even doing that. Is the offside goals and balls that go in the goal, and they're not calling it goals. That's it.
But they should go more in depth, though. They should go more in depth. They should do it like the NFL does. If there's a controversial play, like a penalty, throw in a red flag and have the referee look at it better.
I agree.
And not even that. And I did say that. And
I spoke to Bruno about that, and I told him exactly that, Kevin. I said each coach should have three strikes, whatever, just for the sake of argument, and then they would throw a flag and they say, "Hey, you have to review this play," and they would make them review that play, and then it would go. It would be better because the problem we have in Portugal, our referees, it's our culture. São os patrões. They don't want to be told they were wrong. And to change that mentality, it takes years. It'll take a long time. So the VAR is not successful in Portugal. It's a lot to do with our culture because we don't like to be told we're wrong. And our referees, they move on. They don't want to see the replay. Like that play with the Luizão penalty. Why didn't he review the play on the camera? Why not? He said, no, I'm not interested, and let's move on. You should have done it for the sake of today. Like now, we're talking about it, and if he saw the replay, maybe he wouldn't talk about it so much.
I have a question for Peter because
Go
Peter
ahead.
said that VAR is not going to be successful. So how could you say that? In Portugal, okay. That you answered my question.
Listen, no. What I think, and I've said this in several times in the podcast before, is the only way that I see this working is that if the final decision comes from upstairs, that's how you got to do it.
Yes.
Because otherwise, I don't.
I agree with Peter, and they should train the referees and the supervisors of VAR much better. Everything was really rushed. It was just like put together really fast and let's do it. So like Mariana said, this is the first year. Now they're going to get the feedback and they might change something in the future for the VAR to work better. But the VAR is going to stay. It's not going away.
For another season, at least.
No, it's staying.
For another season.
They will renew it. UEFA is doing it. FIFA is doing it. Spain they're doing it next year too. Portugal will be forced to do it. Believe me.
They're going to do it one more year because they already said they were going to. We're going to have it next year. We'll see what happens.
No, I think Peter, what Steph is saying is that it's inevitable. It's
the
like
VAR.
It's just going to be. It's going to be a regular practice.
We'll see.
We'll see
in
every league.
What UEFA does. We'll see
if it works in the NFL, if it works in the NHL, if it works in the NBA, it doesn't work in Portugal because of lack of training.
And the only difference that people that there's going to be a big transition is that in the NFL, in the NHL, in the NBA, you're used to a lot of stoppages, and it's easier to challenge a touchdown, right, then it's easier to challenge a penalty, because let's say that the ball stays in play and it goes to the other side, and then the ball doesn't go out of play for like 2 minutes. What are you going to do, right? So that's the thing, that's something that I see that's going to be hard to change, right? Because in the NFL, if it's not a touchdown, it takes time. The players get back in the huddle and all that, and it gives time for the coach to throw the flag. Now, when you're in football and there's like a penalty that you think is a penalty, but it's not called, and then the play goes on for like 3 to 4 minutes, what are you going to do?
But
I
no,
mean, you're
it
going
goes.
to ignore the 4 minutes, right? Are you going to pause the game on how is this going to work, right? Is it
No,
going to
no,
be
Peter. Every time there's a penalty, it takes 3 minutes anyway. Players pushing each other, the referee.
I know.
PPP.
No. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about actually in-game play. Like what I'm trying to say is that, for example, Sporting has a call that they think is a penalty, right? But the Benfica goalkeeper catches the ball, he passes the ball through the backfield, blah 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 blah, and then we don't get a stoppage until like 4 minutes later. Are they going to take back those 4 minutes off the clock? What's going to happen? Like,
that's not the way it is. The VAR has to be kicked in before the next play is in play. Then it's
right,
it's canceled.
But that's only if it's a dead ball.
No,
That's
it's canceled. If it's canceled right away, if the next play is in motion, then it's canceled.
Have you ever seen that happen? No, I'm not. I'm asking generally in every single country. Did you ever see that happen?
Yes, of course I've seen it.
I haven't seen that happen. That's why I'm just asking, because obviously what I think is that you gotta build the play dead, right? I mean, otherwise.
Okay, so let's move on. The man of the match, Cynthia. Who's the man of the match for you?
Bruno Varela.
Mariana. Peter.
I'm gonna be a little bit different, and I'm gonna go Jardel.
Okay. Kevin.
Jorge Souza.
You just had to.
Bruno.
I'm with Kevin. George Souza, without a doubt, it was the man of the match.
Okay. So now, talking about George Souza, let's give him a rating from a scale 1 to 10. Kevin, first.
A 1.
Bruno.
1.
Mariana.
Can I say 37? No? Okay. I'll give him a 5, to be fair.
Okay. Cynthia.
I was going to say a 5 as well.
Okay. And Peter?
3.
I don't know. Is Carrie back?
I'm not sure. Ask her. I'm not sure if she's over there.
What does Aria think?
You delinquent.
And don't you guys live together, Kevin? What the hell?
I'm
Yeah,
here.
that's
I'm
what I'm
here.
saying. He's a delinquent. Oh, hi.
See, she's there.
Okay.
Sorry, Arya's giving me a hard time.
So we're rating George Souza from a scale 1 to 10. What would be your rating?
5.
A 5? Okay. Yeah. So now for the Benfica, how would you rate your team in the overall picture, the whole game? Peter.
6.
Carrie.
I'll say 5.
Okay. Mariana.
I'd give first half and about a 5.5 in the second half.
Okay. And Cynthia.
I was going to say a 7, but then in the second half they went down too, so maybe a 6.
Okay. Bruno.
I'm gonna say a 6. Second half was very, very good, and we proved why we were much better. We showed it. There's no debating it.
Okay.
Not on the score line.
And
Cynthia,
Kevin.
don't instigate him.
I'm not.
And Kevin.
I'll give. Are we talking about Porto here? Well, I would give Porto. Okay. I would give them a 7.5 out of 10. I think that the first 15 minutes was weak. They weren't that great in the first half. They were all right after Benfica controlled the first 15, but the second half they just poured it on. And Benfica had no answer for what Porto was throwing at them.
Okay.
Is the 0.5 from Arega?
Yeah.
Okay, so Bruno and Kevin. So now the last thing I have before the predictions, and so we can finish with the podcast. There's something extremely irresponsible from the Super Dragões leader, that he did on Twitter. He posted a picture of a referee that was beat up in another league, and basically saying sooner or later it's going to happen in the Portuguese league. And you know what? It did happen. It
Este ano
happened.
rouba mais.
Yeah, it happened in Lisbon, and it happened in Porto, in some Divisão Distrital, and
No Beira-Mar, foi no Beira-Mar, pá.
yeah,
Yeah, Beira-Mar.
and it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. So, do you think him posting those kind of pictures, it's acceptable?
I don't see what's wrong with it. All I see is what he did was just
What?
kind of.
Bruno, come on.
He didn't threaten anybody. He just stated. He just made a statement.
You're inciting
But he's
violence.
instigating it.
Yeah.
He's just stating it. He's just stating like it.
No,
you know what was the exact?
No.
What was the exact thing, Steph? What did he say?
He said, "Listen, este já não rouba mais," and there was a picture of a referee beat up with blood on the floor.
Yeah, that's all. So all he's stating is that he's not robbing anymore. He didn't say that this is going to happen to somebody. He didn't say anything like that. All he did was just say.
So Bruno, what do you think?
That's ridiculous.
What do you think? What do you think his message? His message is what kind of message he's trying to send when he's posting a picture like that? What do you think? What kind of message?
All he does to me, all he said was make a statement. He's not going to steal anymore, or he's not going to rob anymore. That's it. Now, if you can interpret it any way you want. Obviously, everyone's going to interpret it the wrong way. I interpret it like he's not robbing anymore.
The right way? You're going to interpret it the right way because my way is wrong? Does that sound right to you?
You interpret it your way. I interpret it my way. My way is he's not robbing anymore.
Change that photo. Change the photo. Por uma mulher. Is that right? Por uma criança. Is that right? No. This is a person. This is a person. That's not right.
Listen,
and you've got guys who are running out and already shoving pizzy. You think you need any more instigation?
Listen, he's entitled to his opinion. I don't see what's wrong with it.
Right.
Let's
that's your opinion.
Come on, Bruno. I want to see what Kevin says, to be honest.
I know. Go ahead, Kevin.
I'm sorry, Bruno. I have to disagree with you, bud.
Thank you,
think
Kevin.
you can disagree all you want. It's your interpretation.
Bruno,
no
the insinuation is there,
Have
Bruno.
you seen the photo?
He's got to see it.
Bruno, have you seen it or not?
I've seen it. I posted it on my Facebook. I have it up.
Oh my God.
You've also posted it. Okay,
Yeah, I posted it.
What is your interpretation then? What's
hold
your
on.
interpretation?
No,
that it's going to stop?
My interpretation is he's making a statement. He's saying that this guy's not going to rob anymore. Now,
you know what he's saying? He's saying, yes, I don't rouba mais because I keep this fucking ass. So we're going to start doing that to Portuguese refs. That's what he's saying.
No. He said
there's no two ways about it.
First of all, that was in Argentina. It wasn't in Portugal. That was in Argentina.
I know.
So why has Macaco got anything to do with it?
He's just making a statement.
In the first place.
What's his statement?
His statement is he's not robbing anymore. He got his ass beat. That's it.
Shut up. Oh my God, right. Kevin.
So that's how I interpret it.
Kevin.
Okay, so then you would initially, if we follow the dots, you would interpret that to happen in the Portuguese league, right?
No,
am I the only crazy person here?
No, he doesn't see it like that, Cynthia. I don't know how, but he doesn't.
But that's what I'm saying. Am I taking crazy pills?
No,
follow the line of interpretation, and that's going to happen here.
That is your interpretation. That is not mine. I see it as he's making a statement. The statement is,
and it's a great statement that we share on Facebook.
Come on,
your statement.
Wow. Just
right, can I just ask one question then?
Yeah, go ahead.
So, Bruno, do you agree with what happened in Argentina then? Do you think that what they did to that ref is right, whether he's robbing or not? Do you think that is the answer?
No, that's definitely... I never said that was the answer. Did anyone ever hear me say that?
So why then are you defending Macaco saying that
why
it's
are
all
you
right to say
condoning
that?
I'm defending his statement. His statement is, this guy is not going to rob anymore.
You're trying to make this something that it's not. You're trying to make this as just something that he can say, just like, I don't know, Donald Trump is an idiot. That's how you're trying to make it as flat as that. It's not as flat as this.
This is tiki torch material.
He's insinuating that this is going to happen in countries in Portugal. I mean, we saw Super Dragões. I don't give a fuck. I mean, if there was Super Dragões, if it was Benfica fans, if it was Sporting fans, I react the same way. We saw Porto fans go to the training camp and arrest referees. One of them. Listen, let me finish. Let me go and finish. That's true. It's proven. I don't give a fuck about what you're trying to say.
Proven by who? Proven by who?
Okay. So
it's open to interpretation, Bruno.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Proven by who? I know because there was no police report ever filed.
No.
Was there?
No. Suarez Diaz didn't even do that. No. Why? Why would he do that?
Was it proven or not?
Oh my God.
Listen, I could go to that place with a Benfica jersey on. I could go there with a Benfica jersey and say, you robbed me.
Jersey?
Whatever.
No, I'm just saying. I can borrow it. Listen. I can get it from you. I can get it from my friend. I can go buy it.
I created a Pandora box. I'm sorry. Just move on. I opened Pandora's box. Just move on.
Listen, that's again. That's your interpretation. Hey, listen. Didn't what's his name? Jorge Freire. Didn't his place get what do you call it? Didn't they spray paint his restaurant?
Yeah, it got vandalized. Yeah.
Do you know who did that? Yeah, and do you know who did that? The vandalization?
Was it you wearing a Benfica shirt? Because right now I wouldn't put it past you.
No. And they spray painted in blue paint, correct? Now, when they did their investigation, and they put Super Dragões on there, right? SD.
You're trying to make this something that is absolutely ridiculous. Benfica fans would go to the Maya and say, "Oh, we're Porto fans. You're robbing Porto." Nobody in their right mind would do that. One thing is putting spray paint. The other thing is arresting referees.
I think the key that you said there is nobody in the right mind, and that's what that image is going to instigate. Nobody in the right mind.
You didn't let me finish. So
just finish.
The whole Jorge Freire thing. When they finished the investigation, the police, they found 7 Benfica fans that spray painted the restaurant. It was Benfica fans. So you can interpret it any way you want. That Super Dragões went there and there was no arrests made and it's not proven. All you're doing is accusing someone. But now when you make an investigation and you find out that 7 Benfica fans spray painted with blue paint the restaurant and vandalized it, then you take your own conclusions of that.
Okay,
yeah, I'm also sure we vandalized our own face.
Hey, on that note, now let me flip it. I'm gonna ask the Benfiquistas.
I wanted to see. No, Kevin. I want to see.
No, I'm not
Kevin
even done
says.
yet.
Go ahead, Kevin. You want to say
real
something?
quick? As quick as you can, but
yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
Peter
I mean,
is not the host today.
I know, but I'm helping.
I've done this before, Peter. So I think that like when I saw that, I was like kind of appalled by it. I mean, I wasn't expecting to see that. Bruno has his own version of it, but for me, like, and this is just me with my honest opinion, I think that the insinuation is there of violence, that there is an intention that the referees could be harmed if they continue the path that they're going down, regardless of well, obviously it's Porto, not regardless of what team it is. But if Porto continues to be robbed, this could happen, and this ref ain't going to be able to rob any more games anymore. I mean, that's the interpretation that
yeah.
Yeah, and I don't agree with it, and I've always said that clocks should not be allowed into any stadiums. I don't care what team it is. I think they're nothing but trouble.
He's a thug.
They cause
basically.
a lot of problems. Well, yeah, you could say that. It goes to the same for all the big three, the leaders of all the clocks.
Everybody that posts pictures like that is nothing but an instigator and wants nothing but violence in football.
He should
I
be
get
banned.
that.
He should be banned.
Well, he's on the verge of being banned.
Of course, he's illegal, so nothing's going to happen.
Well, hold on a second. What did he do to be banned?
Oh my
He's a
The shot
thug.
glass-
He's instigating violence. I don't know, whatever. But I think we got to
No,
move on from this
you
step
can't-
because he's
you
not
can't-
going to. He's not going to get our point. He's
No,
just
no,
not going.
no.
He's going to ignore it.
No,
Okay,
no,
Bruno. Bruno,
you can't. Hold on a second.
let's agree to disagree on this one. Basically,
Okay, but I can't finish the podcast without saying you can't
Okay, go
you
ahead,
can't
go
ban
ahead.
someone for accusing them. You can't do that. You have to prove that this is what they were really trying to do. You have to.
Yeah, but-
You can't you can't ban somebody for accusing him.
well, you know,
He's meant to be banned anyway. He's already meant to be banned for 6 months.
But for
So he
what?
shouldn't even have been at that match.
The shot
But for
glass-
what?
Benfica for the chance against
Did-
Benfica.
Okay, and did he sing the song at all?
I don't know. That's
But he's the
well,
leader, isn't he? So he's the one that's meant to.
On video, he never sang the song. So why is he being singled out?
I don't know. I'm
He's
just
the
answering
leader.
the question.
Or
That's what they.
don't ban him, ban the whole clack. Ban everyone else that sang.
No, you can't. You can't do that. It's you can't
Why
ban
not?
just one person because he's the leader.
they
You
got a-
can't do that.
They
You
got a
can't
fine.
control hundreds of people.
They did get a fine on that, and it's ridiculous.
Okay.
It's ridiculous because they even sing it when it's not against Benfica. It's stupid. I don't get it.
Exactly.
I agree. It's stupid. I agree. It's stupid. But now you can't ban this
can I
guy,
just-
and he
can I just say
doesn't agree
something?
with it.
Can I just say something? Bruno,
The
to your
whole
point, he
choreography,
can't.
that game
You're,
is ridiculous.
Listen, Bruno, you're saying he can't control a lot of people. He controlled over 2,000 people for the 1 minute of silence of Eusebio. If he can control 2,000 people like that, he can control everybody. Don't give me shit.
Because they want to be controlled, Peter.
Yeah,
Because they want to be controlled.
exactly.
Because now
Control. That's it.
Because now I'm going to flip it. I want to ask the Benfiquistas and tell me, from the bottom of your heart, and tell me the truth. How come your president does not want to legalize your clocks?
No fucking idea.
They are clocks. We know that.
I do. I have a great idea.
Os diabos
Oh my
vermelhos.
God. You
os
can do
diabos
whatever you
vermelhos,
want.
They are clocks. E qual é a outra claque que vocês têm?
No name.
Os diabos
No name
vermelhos,
boy.
o nome
No name
dele.
boy. They are clocks. Why doesn't he want to legalize them, Benfiquistas? Tell me that. Not you, Bruno. Benfiquistas.
Listen, I'm just going to go real quick. I have no idea why. I'm just going to say that legalizing or not legalizing them does the same shit for you because we saw, and I know Bruno's going to rebuttal this. I don't care. We saw a lot of supposedly, I'm going to say supposedly, Super Dragões members do this and do that. Then we can see Juveleo that, and the clubs don't get punished for it. So it doesn't matter two shits if you're
That's not
legalized
the-
or not
that's-
because the
that's
clubs
not-
don't get
that's not
punished.
the reason.
No, that's not. That's not
not
true.
the
reason.
No.
No, I'm just
That's
saying.
not the reason. That's
I'm
not
just
the
saying.
reason.
I'm just
Okay,
saying.
okay,
Move on to Mariana.
Let me
He
listen
knows
to
more than you.
Mariana. Yeah.
Why do I know more than you?
Because you're more pro clocks than I am, probably.
Am I?
I don't know. You
Since
tell me.
when?
I don't know.
That's how
Since
rumors
now.
start, Peter.
I agree with Peter in the sense that I honestly don't see what the big issue is with that. I mean, how long? I think the average age just turned 35 a couple of weeks ago. So how come this has only come up now? What's the big deal now? I mean, it was never a problem before. I mean, no name boys have probably been around for around 30 years as well. Why has this never come up before? A big difference in legalized clacks and not legalized clacks. A change. I mean, super they're going to keep getting caught with drugs and whatever, and nothing happens.
It's happened to Benfica's clock too, by the way.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's happened to all of them.
That's the
so
point that I'm making. That
honestly-
they're all trouble. That's the point that I'm
Yeah,
making.
they are.
Not all of them.
I
Some are
don't see
there
what's the
for.
difference between.
I disagree because not every fan that's in the clock goes there to cause trouble. So I disagree with that.
No, I know, but
because
the majority do.
No, not a majority either. I'm gonna argue that too. That's not the majority. Most of the people that are in the clocks are there because they support their club and that's what they want to do. They want to support their club. They want to sing. It's just a getaway. It's a sense of camaraderie. But
So then, why do they need to be
every
legal? I
club-
mean, I'm a Benfica socia. I went to Basel and I sat with the average vermelho, and that doesn't make me part of the clack.
no, it doesn't.
I mean, what's the point?
Agreed. Point is that in every society, no matter if it's clocks or no clocks, you're still going to have some bad apples in there. And yeah, they take advantage of being so large that they try to do illegal things. You think they win
That's
or
a good
lose? No,
point.
they're there to make money, man. They're there to make money. That's it.
That's a good point.
And a lot of them are there to make money. They don't care if they win or lose. Did I make money today? Yes or no?
So then tell me what's the difference between a legal clack and an illegal one? What's the big issue?
Because you have to register yourself. Also, if you get
What
caught, and
difference
then
does that make?
you are held responsible. You're going to be held responsible. Now, to answer Steph's question as to why supportive of these is because they have the most weight system at the club. So for every vote counts as 4. So why does he want to be on the clock side and do everything they want? And he's always in power because they're going to always vote for him.
It's not 4 votes. It's actually 25 votes.
Sorry, 25 votes.
It depends. It goes by increments. If you've been in the club 5 years, it's like 2 votes. 10, it multiplies. It's ridiculous. I don't know why, but it's the same thing at Sporting. It's if you've been a Sporting socio with 30 years, his vote counts as 25.
That is the reason why.
Why we're talking about collection when this was a Classico pod, but that's just me.
No, I was going to say we've been on for over 1 hour and 35 minutes.
Okay, so I'm just going to finish with this. Listen, the difference between a legal clock and illegal is the following: if you're a clock, you're allowed to use the installations of your club. If you're not a clock, you're not allowed. And the Diablo for Men's and No Name Boys are still using it. If you're a clock, you have to submit yourself with a criminal background. No Name Boys and the Diablo for Men's, they don't want that because several of them have a long vibe sheet and they'll be kicked out of the clock. And then they said no to Luis Riviera, and him, like a little pussy, he gave in. That's it. But let's move on to the predictions, so we can wrap it up.
You're talking about predictions for the next week's games?
Yes, Jornada 14.
Why can't we do
actually
them
on Wednesday again. We're going to do the Champions League one.
Oh, you want to talk about Benfica Basel? Okay, if you think it's worth it.
No. What I'm saying is we could let Mariana, Kevin, and Kerry give their predictions, and we'll do ours on the next podcast since we do one on Wednesday.
Sounds good, Kerry. So, what's your prediction for Benfica Studio?
Wait, we're doing Studio or we're doing Champions League?
Benfica Basel.
Okay.
She's not there? No. Okay, Mariana.
No. As long as we get the 3 points, I don't really care. I am catching a train to London at 4:50, so in about 4 hours. And watch the match with Timo and Pete. So all I really want is a win. I went to Basel. I witnessed a 5-0, so I just don't want to finish with
a goose egg.
Yeah, a goose egg.
Mariana, have a good trip to Portugal. Yep. Cynthia.
Shout out to Timo and Pete though first.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And take photos of that. I want to see Maz. Yeah, I don't want a 0. I'm telling you, like I want us to score, and I don't want to tie. I want us to get 3 points. That'd be great because then we're not at 0 points in a goddamn. Oh God, I don't want to talk about it. I'm not putting it out there. We're just gonna have a win. That's it. We want to win.
Okay, and you, Peter?
What against Basel?
Yes.
I don't care.
Okay, and Kevin, about Porto in the Champions League.
Let me see.
You play Monaco on Wednesday.
Yeah, and Monaco is going to be playing their reserves. Maybe 3-0, 1-0.
I heard that before from Bruno. 5-0 against Benfica. It didn't happen. Bruno.
The game against Monaco, I think it's going to be a lot closer because when you play guys that are very underutilized, they get a lot more motivated. They want to prove that they deserve more playing time, and especially in a stage of the Champions League, you're trying to make your name for yourself. So I'm going to disagree. I think it's going to be a lot closer of a match, and it's going to be 1-0 Porto.
Okay, so me for my Sporting, we're playing at Camp Nou against Barcelona. If Messi doesn't play, we'll have a chance to win. If Messi plays, of course, we'll be playing low block, and then it doesn't matter. I don't think we're going to make it anyway because Juventus will go to Olympiacos and they will win over there. But I'm hoping for a win if Messi doesn't play. If Messi plays, a tie.
Oh, let Messi play. Just send up Baj Dost.
I know, uma benfiquista a falar que nem uma valente, caralho. Okay. Okay, now let's go into Liga NOS, Jornada 14. And I'll start with the Portistas. You guys will be playing at Bonfim against Setúbal on Sunday at 15:15 our time, 20:15 your time, guys. So what do you think, guys? Bruno.
I think it's going to be a very, very. I don't think it's going to be. I think the officiating is going to be a big key in this game because the last couple of years we went to Setúbal, we've been robbed, and Setúbal's been struggling as of late, and they had a loss against Guimarães at home. I think Porto's going to pull out a very narrow victory, and it's going to be again 1-0.
Yeah, Setúbal did lose at home 2-1 against Guimarães. Kevin, go ahead.
I'm going to be bold and say 4-0.
Wow, I like that. Who's going to score the goals? Marega?
Maraga, he'll be on the score
Marega.
sheet. Yep, Maraga is going to get on the score sheet.
Hat trick for Marega. That's awesome.
Corona is going to come back, and he's going to score. And if Otavio comes in, I think he'll get a goal. Or maybe even Brahimi. One of the two.
Well, hopefully they're not going
You Benfica fans are always stuck on Philippe.
He's a kicker.
I wonder why.
They read the cartilla, man.
UFC. So hopefully when they cross the balls to Marega, they won't be too fast, so he won't miss. So now let's talk about the game of Benfica Estoril. So Peter, why don't you be first this time?
Away, right? At home, right?
At home.
So 3-0.
And the game will be on Saturday at 18:15 your time and 1:15 p.m. our time. So Mariana.
I'm going to go with 3-0 as well. Feeling confident.
Who's going to score the goals?
And I don't care about the other.
Okay. Cynthia.
Anyone.
I'm going to say 2-0 and one to Jonas and one to Salvio.
Yes,
How many-
Cynthia.
By the way, how many goals does Jonah have?
14, 13?
101.
You guys don't know?
I think it's 14.
15.
And how many were
Sounds like
penalties?
37.
101.
You
Well,
tell
like
me how
2.
many penalties, Bruno. Jesus.
Or
It was
what?
Kevin. It wasn't Bruno.
Yeah, that was me.
Oh, oops, sorry.
Maybe about half of that were
Freudian
penalties.
Bruno is easy to beat on.
Whoops.
Carrie, is she back?
I'm here.
Okay, so what's your prediction for Benfica Basel for the Champions League?
I don't know score wise. I just hopefully we get a win, and hopefully Salvio, if he plays, he scores for Mariana.
I'm going to die if he does, so I don't know.
Are you in love with him or something? Okay.
No, he's just my favourite player, okay?
Steph, do you not have her on Facebook? Because she is in love with him. She'll probably rush the field, and they'll be like, "Stop that crazy girl!" And then she'll just hug him.
I
It'll
don't
be
use
awkward.
I don't use Facebook. Facebook is
On Twitter.
No, Twitter. Follow on Twitter.
you said Facebook.
Oh, sorry, I'm confused.
Because,
It's bedtime.
Facebook is it's for old people. Come on, like Bruno uses Facebook but not Twitter. I don't know why.
Hear those photos, Jesus.
If you read the reports, most people are getting away from Twitter.
Well, not us. This little group over here.
Really?
we're not.
Can we close out the podcast now?
Not the
It's
mega
almost
thread.
midnight, so
Tell the mega
I
thread.
mean, come on.
Okay, so
Got this.
now let me give my prediction of my the best club in Portugal, Sporting Portugal. We're playing away no Bessa, which is going to be a very difficult game. But I think we'll win again with 2-1. And of course, towards the end, I'm going to suffer and scream and yell, and my kids will look at me like I'm crazy. But I think we're going to win 2-1. So,
Vais precisar de penalti ou não?
a gente depois fala, meu. Hoje não era acerca de Sporting. Não sejas tão ranhoso.
Eu só
Anyway.
estou por perguntar, é preciso penalti ou não?
Just goddamn.
Olha.
Let him finish.
We haven't won.
Diz o Rotonu.
Exatamente. Se for preciso penalti, a gente arranja, não está feliz.
All right. Is that it?
Era o quinto já era o quinto este ano.
Eu Deus quer que seja 25. It's the end of the podcast, so to all of our listeners and fans, thank you so much for listening to us. And until next time, which will be on Wednesday, we'll be talking about the Champions League. Thank you
And
so
Sporting.
much. And of course, I said the Champions League. I didn't specify just one club. So thank you, Mariana.
Hey.
Thank you, Cynthia.
I'll be back on Wednesday.
Thank you, Peter Pan, Pumpkin Eater.
Bro. You're welcome.
You're so old, you're getting two of them mixed up.
Thank you, Kevin.
Yeah, it was great to be back. It's been a while, and congratulations to Kerry, her first podcast. So congratulations to her.
Yeah, Carrie.
And
Did not bully her into joining us at all. Okay, just saying.
And thank you to Carrie.
Thank you guys for having me.
And I know why Kevin fell in love with her.
What?
Oh, hi, Aria. She's so sweet.
She is sweet. She is sweet. Now I know why Kevin fell in love with her. She has a sweet voice.
Oh,
And Bruno, my good friend Bruno, thank you so much. Without you, this podcast wouldn't be the same. We love the energy you bring to this podcast, and you're always nervous and always excited. That's good. I love that. And that's it. Let's wrap it up.
Thank you for having me.
Have a good night, everybody.
Viva Sport.